It takes nothing to stay in poverty, but everything to break free from it. The tears of the world are a constant quantity. For each one who begins to weep somewhere else, another stops. The same is true with the laugh. The right thing to do and the hard thing to do are usually the same. If someone does not want me, it is not the end of the world. But if I do not want me, the world is nothing but endings. When you go in search of honey, you must expect to be stung by bees. Always forgive, but never forget, else you will be a prisoner of your own hatred and doomed to repeat your mistakes forever. It's often only in the lies we refuse to speak that any truth can be heard at all. In life, you need either inspiration or desperation. Life isn't worth living unless it is lived for someone else. Disappointment came to me and booted me and bruised and hurt me, but that's how people grow up. You are not the opinion of someone who doesn't know you. You think intelligence and grit can succeed by themselves, but I'm telling you that's a pretty illusion. It was like the beginning of life and laughter. It was the real meaning of the sun. Happiness is not the absence of problems, it's the ability to deal with them. He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Never let doubt guide your life's compass, as shadows fade once hope is found. To think too long about doing a thing often becomes its undoing. Hearing voices no one else can hear isn't a good sign, even in the wizarding world. Whenever I hear anyone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. Sometimes life is too hard to be alone, and sometimes life is too good to be alone. Don't go on discussing what a good person should be. Just be one. The truth doesn't always set you free. People prefer to believe prettier, neatly wrapped lies. We can do anything we want to if we stick to it long enough. What we do not confront, we inhabit. What we do not reject, we accept. What we do not fight, we become. If you can remember why you started, then you will know why you must continue. If you cannot find peace within yourself, you will never find it anywhere else. The difference between success and failure is not giving up. If you can't do great things, do small things in a great way. Don't dwell on things. Don't stay in one place too long. It was the only way to stay ahead of sadness. Challenge and adversity are meant to help you know who you are. Storms hit your weakness, but unlock your true strength. Don't waste your time with explanations. People only hear what they want to hear. When you are living the best version of yourself, you inspire others to live the best versions of themselves. When people stargazing, they stare at stars and many other things which they've already presumed commonly and universally as stars. Focus on making choices to lead your life that aligns with your core values in the most purposeful way possible. When I stopped to take a breath, I noticed I had wings. It's okay to not be okay. It's also okay to ask for help when you need it. What the society thinks is of no interest to me. All that's important is how I see myself. I know who I am. I know the value of my work. You have succeeded in life when all you really want is only what you really need. The world is merciless, and it's also very beautiful. Nobody made a greater mistake than he who did nothing because he could do only a little. It's never the value of water but thirst. It's never the value of life but death, and it's never about the friendship but trust. Our attitude toward life determines life's attitude towards us. Being faithful in the smallest things is the way to gain, maintain, and demonstrate the strength needed to accomplish something great. At some point, you just gotta forgive the past. Your happiness hinges on it. Forgiveness doesn't have to be when they are sorry, but when you show compassion to those who don't deserve it. It is better moving up to your goal and falling than not falling doing nothing. You just keep pushing. You just keep pushing. I made every mistake that could be made, but I just kept pushing. If your dreams are too hard to achieve, just achieve. How ridiculous and how strange to be surprised at anything which happens in life. Truth is stranger than fiction, but it is because fiction is obliged to stick to possibilities. Truth isn't. When you use your energy and resources to punish people, you run out of energy and resources to protect people. I have given my word that only death will take me from you. I am a strong believer in the tyranny, the dictatorship, the absolute authority of the writer. There's a whole category of people who miss out by not allowing themselves to be weird enough. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage against the dying of the light. Of all creatures that breathe and move upon the earth, nothing is bred that is weaker than man. If truth doesn't set you free, generosity of spirit will. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. I knew it like destiny, and at the same time, I knew it as choice. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Too much action with too little intent makes for wasteful exertion of energy and the confusion between movement and progress. The truth is messy. It's raw and uncomfortable. You can't blame people for preferring lies. It shocks me how I wish for what is lost and cannot come back. You don't put your life into your books, you find it there. Art is the act of triggering deep memories of what it means to be fully human. Life is magical for those whose hearts are loving, minds are full with joy, and eyes that are dancing with beauty. In fact, the truth cannot be communicated until it is perceived. Embrace being perfectly imperfect. Learn from your mistakes and forgive yourself. You'll be happier. When you fail, you also learn how not to fail. Art and life are subjective. Not everybody's gonna dig what I dig, but I reserve the right to dig it. Failure is instructive. The person who really thinks learns quite as much from his failures as from his successes. Life goes on. Get over it. You're still young. It'll get better. Blah, blah, blah. It had always seemed to him a very plush kind of problem, a privilege, really, to consider whether life was meaningful or not. For a day, just for one day, talk about that which disturbs no one and bring some peace into your beautiful eyes. To succeed, you must reach for the stars and let your imagination find its own path. But remember, boy, that a kind act can sometimes be as powerful as a sword. The nail that sticks out farthest gets hammered the hardest. It's okay to be a loser. It just depends on how good you are at being one. The truth has always been a more complex commodity than the market can easily package and sell. Be mindful. Be grateful. Be positive. Be true. Be kind. True beauty is measured by the number of pearls within you, not those around your neck. You don't have to make something that people call art. Living is an artistic activity. There is an art to getting through the day. He alone is free who lives with free consent under the entire guidance of reason. It was not the feeling of completeness I so needed, but the feeling of not being empty. On the whole, human beings want to be good, but not too good, and not quite all the time. Where joy grows deep, sorrow must deepen. The greater one's pleasures, the greater the pain. Those who are willing to be vulnerable move among mysteries. The question is not how to get cured, but how to live. When there are many worlds, you can choose the one you walk into each day. Hopes, wants, and wishes, all cast across the night sky with my heart in tow. You do not write your life with words. You write it with actions. What you think is not important. It is only important what you do. If you don't behave as you believe, you will end by believing as you behave. The path to success is to take massive, determined action. The beauty of the world has two edges, one of laughter, one of anguish, cutting the heart asunder. My stomach lurched, an appetizer before the full portion of heartache I had a feeling was going to be served at some point soon. Atheism, a religion dedicated to its own sense of smug superiority. I'm guilty of giving people more chances than they deserve, but when I'm done, I'm done. We have to be honest about what we want and take risks rather than lie to ourselves and make excuses to stay in our comfort zone. Violence is spiritual junk food, and boredom is spiritual anorexia. 1,000 words leave not the same deep impression as does a single deed.